Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you here today with an article from the Federalist. This is dated January 15th. It's going to be about a week beyond this. This report came out about Jack Smith, so it's going to be probably a little bit of old news, but you will you'll get the point and we'll go through it. It says Jack Smith's report proves the media were always lying about the January 6th insurrection because of course they were. It was never going to be true. And here's the a-hole, and he has resigned. Good riddance. So Smith dismantled the argument that Trump was involved in an insurrection after helping launder the lie through the media. And let's get into it. I know I'm breathing kind of heavy here, but it's just kind of like, can this just be over? Like it was never an insurrection. That was always BS. I'm sorry, I kind of got the hiccups. But let's go and power through these hiccups. As former special counsel Jack Smith, who resigned in disgrace last week after his lawfare prosecutions of President-elect Donald Trump were dismissed, released his findings on his January 6th case. While Smith attempted to use the report as an outgoing smear of an incoming president, he also finally admits what many have known all along. The Capitol riot on January 6, 2021 was not an insurrection, and Smith did not believe he could convince even a far-left D.C. jury that it was one. On top of that, he could also not prove that Trump incited the riot. Yeah, there's absolutely zero proof of that. Like, saying to protest peacefully and patriotically is not to go and start an insurrection. Okay, you have to be fundamentally retarded. You're a retard if you believe that. It says, despite the fact that Smith's lawfare was clearly politically motivated and essentially meritless, as the Federalist has covered on numerous occasions, the prosecutor attempted to save face by insisting that the claim from Mr. Trump that my decisions as a prosecutor were influenced or directed by the Biden administration or other political actors is, in a word, laughable. Too bad I would not doubt for a second that it's actually true, especially since didn't Biden or Merrick Garland hire this dude? So I'm sure it was. So, but what's truly laughable is that Smith dismantled the left's own arguments that January 6th was an insurrection, an allegation he did not pursue, but certainly helped launder through the corporate media with his lawfare. Several pages of the 174-page long report, released Tuesday, deal directly with 18 U.S.C. 2383, I don't even know how to read that properly, I'm not a lawyer, or the Insurrection Act, and how nothing on January 6th could have been construed to be an insurrection. Again, we all knew this. The thrust of Smith's argument that Trump could not have been successfully prosecuted for insurrection under the act is the actual definition of insurrection, and the fact that his office would have had to provide a clearance that such a thing occurred. Generally speaking, an insurrection is a rising against civil or political authority, the open and active opposition of a number of persons to the execution of law in a city or state, the report stated. Says the office would first have had to prove that the violence at the Capitol on January 6, 2021 constituted an insurrection against the authority of the United States or the laws thereof, and then prove that Mr. Trump incited or assisted the insurrection or gave aid or comfort thereto, Smith wrote. As to the first element under Section 2383, proving an insurrection against the authority of the United States or the laws thereof, the cases the office reviewed provided no guidance on what proof would be required to establish an insurrection or to distinguish an insurrection from a riot. Smith then went through multiple instances where the courts had used the word insurrection in January 6 prosecutions, but each time did not use the Insurrection Act to define it or have it based in anything other than, seemingly, rhetoric. And it says here, for example, United States versus, that's a name, Chwiziuk. Then there's a bunch of numbers, and I'm going to just butcher that, from April 19th of 2023. It says, as this court and other courts in the United States District Court for the District of Columbia have stated previously, what occurred on January 6, 2021 was in fact an insurrection and involved insurrectionists, and therefore the terms to which defendants object are accurate descriptors. And then another United States v. Carpenter, blah, 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 February 9th, 2023, says what occurred on January 6th was in fact a riot and an insurrection, and it did in fact involve a mob. And see also United States versus F. Funchal, if I'm pronouncing that right, says using the term insurrection in a case that did not involve Section 2383. Okay, a bunch of lawyers speak there. It says these cases, however, did not require the courts to resolve the issue of how to define insurrection for purposes of Section 2383 or apply that definition to the conduct of a criminal defendant in the context of January 6th, Smith wrote. It says, in each example, it appears insurrection was used as a political buzzword, enabling the corporate media to advance the insurrection narrative without doing anything to meet the legal requirements for one. Of course, it was all bullshit. So Smith could also not prove that Trump incited the riots at the Capitol. even while attempting to talk out of both sides of his mouth, saying there were reasonable arguments, particularly when the speech is viewed in the context of Mr. Trump's lengthy and deceitful voter fraud narrative that came before it. Yeah, because did those really have anything to do with each other? The Smith admitted, oh yeah, I guess they do, now that I'm thinking about it, but still, it seems like a bit of a stretch. So Smith admitted that his office could not develop direct evidence with admissions or communications with anyone involved that Trump intended to cause the riot. And that's the end. So pretty quick article, but yeah, I think we all knew this. We'll go all the way back up to the top here. And yeah, I mean, everyone trying to push an insurrection, you're a dumbass. You don't know the definition of the word, and it never was that. It was a bunch of people got out of control. It was a riot. You want to call it a riot? Got no problem there. An insurrection? Not even close. Anyway, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.